You might not know what this song is called. You might not know who wrote it or who sang it. You might not even know what language it's in. But I can promise you, you have almost certainly heard this saxophone line many times before. If you're a millennial, zoomer, or just love to party, you've no doubt heard this iconic saxophone melody. Comes from Rune Kölsch's Calabria 2007, released by Ultra Records. Or does it? What you might not know is the sheer amount of mystery behind this song and the chilling story of its aftermath. Who exactly wrote it? Why does the song have more than 10 different names? Why can't anyone understand the lyrics? This is the story of a song that took the world by storm, yet very few people know what it's called. The story of a producer who literally threatened to assault his own collaborator. But most disturbingly, why the singer of this pop anthem will never sing it again. In 2002, Danish DJ Rune Kölsch, under the alias of ENUR, was working on a beat which he called Calabria. The name Calabria is a region of Italy known for its stunning coastline and spicy food. Needless to say, it seems to hold some kind of special significance to Kölsch. In 2003, Kölsch's Calabria beat would be released under the now-defunct record label Credence. Without knowing, Kölsch had just changed his life forever, and all it took was 90 minutes and a bottle of Coca-Cola. The original beat for Calabria was entirely instrumental. It sounded like this. While this beat did make its way into European dance clubs, it's unlikely that you'd heard it until just now. This original beat is not what took the world by storm, at least mostly not. While the aggressive drum track and trumpet solos would eventually be forgotten, that haunting saxophone line would not. Strangely, Credence Records seems to have done everything they could to try to bury Kölsch's original 2003 beat. You can't find it on any streaming service or any official music download website. For years, it was near impossible to find this track at all, until 2016 when this random channel somehow got a hold of it and uploaded it to YouTube. It wasn't long before every pop star and EDM producer wanted a taste. Everyone from Pitbull to Mims to Drunken Monkey to Firebeats all wanted to remix that saxophone line for themselves. The first time American audiences got to hear the Calabria beat was from Alex Gaudino's 2006 remix called Destination Calabria. Notably, Gaudino's remix would feature vocals from American singer Crystal Waters. However, according to Kölsch, he was not pleased about the way it went down. I'll tell you the true story, we got screwed over by Gaudino really badly because his version was supposed to be a remix of our thing and the record label cleared it behind my back. So if I ever meet him, I'm going to have to punch him for it. Gaudino's remix, with the addition of vocals, saw major commercial success. So naturally, Kölsch was inspired to make his own vocal remix of his own song. Later that year, Kölsch would team up with reggae phenom Natasja Saad to create Calabria 2007, the song we all know and love today. There is a lot to say about the circumstances behind this collaboration and how this song came to be. But let's first talk a little bit about the song itself. According to TuneBat and Song BPM, leading authorities on music analytics, Calabria 2007 is in the key of E minor. This is obviously wrong, as can be pretty clearly heard if you try to overlay an E minor chord with the song. No, Calabria is in E flat minor. But even that isn't quite right. In reality, the key isn't E flat minor, but rather E flat Dorian. Granted, it's a very subtle difference, but listen to how noticeably different the song is when sung in straight E-flat minor.
When you run, come around, 'cause know you're the talk of the town, yeah. When you run, come around, 'cause know you're the talk of the town, yeah.
But even this isn't the full picture. This entire time, I've been using a pitch-shifted version of the recording. The real key center is just a baby step below E-flat, so it's more like D half-sharp Dorian. Calabria 2007 in many ways is strikingly different from most dance club anthems. While many house beats can contain dozens of layers of stacked instruments, Calabria 2007 contains only 4. Just 4 instruments. The first of which being the drums, pounding the most bare-bones reggaeton beat humanly possible. There is almost nothing to this beat. There's not even a hi-hat. It's just kick and snare going boom ka boom ka boom ka boom ka. The bass track is just as simple with its root to B-flat ostinato. Of course, it wouldn't be Calabria without that infamous saxophone line. Everything that makes this song interesting ultimately comes from the vocals. And boy, do the vocals pack a punch. Your first reaction when hearing the vocals might be, my god, what are these lyrics? I mean, it sounds like English, but I can't understand a word she's saying. That would be because the lyrics are not in English. They are in Jamaican patois, an English-derived Creole spoken in, well, Jamaica. This is my friend Martina. She was born and raised in Jamaica.
Easy now, no need to figure it out. We know it very well. Most Jamaicans know it, yeah, man.
Easy now, no need to go down. What exactly does that mean?
Take your time, and no need to go down means winding down, like it's a dance going down. And what that would be like, something a bit erratic. Work it gently and no broke up, no bone. That means take your time when you're doing the do.
I'm not going to recite the song line by line, but here are the highlights. Whoop whoop when you run come around, konau you a de talka de town ya, roughly translates to, you're a joy to be around, everyone likes you. Boy you sound a tickle means, don't tease me so hard. After about 30 minutes of speaking with Martina, I came to a surprising realization. This song is wildly dirty. Natasja's vocals are suggestive, likening playing the saxophone with activities in the bedroom, while constantly begging her love interest to play that saxophone harder. Speaking about the lyrics, Kölsch said basically they're about this guy who makes her really horny. That's the whole joke, I don't speak patois, so I don't really understand all of it. Being fluent in patois, you might assume that Natasja is a native Jamaican. And while that would be a logical assumption, you would be shockingly off. Natasja is actually not Jamaican at all, not even close.
My father is Sudanese from Sudan in Africa. He came to Denmark, married to my mother. They had me. And on the shelves was a lot of Danish music, a lot of rock and roll, but all of a sudden I found one Dennis Brown album in their record collection.
Born in Denmark, Natasja Saad fell in love with Jamaican music at an early age. At only 5 years old, she would discover Jimmy Cliff and Bob Marley in her parents' record collection. While her friends would stay out late, Natasja would stay home listening to reggae music. Natasja's music career began when she begged a radio DJ to let her perform an original song she had written in patois. While initially skeptical, the DJ did eventually give her the green light, and the crowd loved it. While still relatively unknown in the US, Natasja would go on to become somewhat of a household name in Jamaica. So when the time came, naturally, Calabria 2007 would tear up the Jamaican charts, but not in the way you think. The version of the song we all know was actually not the most popular version in Jamaica.
Have you ever heard of Vybz Kartel? Vybz Kartel is one of the biggest DJs in Jamaica. The song, the Calabria, she did this song with Vybz Kartel, and that's the one we know more. It was crazy. Crazy.
Being as she was, so dearly beloved in Jamaica, what happened to Natasja on June 24th, 2007 becomes all the more tragic. Around 5:45 in the morning, Natasja was a passenger in a car that swerved out of control and crashed into a pole. She and 2 other passengers were rushed to Spanish Town Hospital, where Natasja was officially pronounced deceased. The driver reportedly fled the scene, although he did apparently end up turning himself in. Natasja's passing came a mere 3 months after the release of Calabria 2007. The song would end up exploding in popularity 9 months later, peaking on the Billboard Hot 100 in March 2008. But the singer who had captivated the world was not even alive to sing her own song. Needless to say, Natasja's passing was big news in Jamaica.
She was in a crash, I remembered. It was quite a while. Yeah, man, I remembered. So it happened not exactly near to me, but it happened in my community.
Outside of Jamaica, though, the media made hardly a peep about it. Think about it, did you know that the singer who sang this song was no longer around? I grew up with this song, and I don't remember hearing a thing about it. Even more shockingly, the people whom Natasja had worked closest with did almost nothing to publicly acknowledge the tragedy. Rune Kölsch and Ultra Records, whom Natasja had partnered with on Calabria, didn't so much as release a short statement of condolence, which is especially surprising considering that, according to Kölsch himself, the inception of the song that had brought him so much success was her idea to begin with. The closest thing I could find to a statement came from a 2008 interview with Kölsch, where he said, "I'm very, very sad that she's not here to experience this great success with her voice. She would have been over the moon because she'd been struggling for so many years." Given the unfortunate timing of her passing, Natasja was only able to perform her own hit song fewer than a dozen times. As far as I can tell, there are only 2 publicly available videos of Natasja singing Calabria. One of them being at Sumfest, a Jamaican reggae festival in 2006, before the song had even officially released. The only other video is a fan-captured clip of Natasja in 2007 performing in Odense, Denmark. Henriette Wettendorf might not realize it, but they happened to capture one of the most rare and exclusive videos in pop music history. There is some evidence that Natasja's passing weighed heavily on Kölsch. ENUR, the duo that Calabria 2007 was officially released under, would disband after only a single album. ENUR was an electronic music project founded by Kölsch and his half-brother Johannes Torp. Originally formed in 2000 as Artificial Funk, ENUR would release their album Ragatronic in September 2008, shortly before going on hiatus. The most notable single from this album being, of course, Calabria 2007. There is a peculiarity with this album, however. Billed as an iTunes bonus track is another song called Calabria 2008. Calabria 2008 performed noticeably better on the charts than did its predecessor, Calabria 2007, except for the fact that it's the same track. Believe me when I tell you, it is the exact same recording, down to the second. I mean, maybe there's a slight tweak with the EQ, but even as a fairly experienced music producer, I can hardly tell any difference between the two. And that's not the only peculiarity with these releases. Whenever a major record label releases a new song, YouTube will auto-generate an audio track for the platform. These audio tracks will have information about the songs, such as writers, singers, and producers. Yet, for some reason, YouTube doesn't seem to know who composed or produced Calabria 2007. We know that the original instrumental was written by Rune Kölsch. The 2007 beat was remixed by Johannes Torp, and the vocals were written and recorded by Natasja Saad. Was there some fourth ghostwriter involved on the track? I'm not sure what to make of this. While Calabria lives on in popular culture, it seems like the people who actually wrote the song want nothing to do with it. Rune Kölsch has not performed Calabria in years, despite having a very successful career as a DJ to this day. He's no longer signed to Ultra Records, and the record label that he released his original Calabria beat under doesn't even exist anymore. It's possible that Kölsch is haunted by Natasja Saad's passing, or perhaps he just doesn't want to relive the memories of fighting with his fellow producers and executives. Only he can know for sure. Calabria is an enormously famous and influential song. Yet, the thing I find most fascinating about Calabria is just how many people don't seem to know the song's name.
I'm gonna play a song for you, and I want to see if you know what the song is called. Ready?
Oh yeah. I don't know the name, but I recognize the song. It's that one from the YouTube Rewind.
Having made it through this video, you're obviously now aware of the song's name. But you're also now aware of the chilling legacy behind this piece of pop history. Take this information however you will.